everyone, it's Moose, and thank you so much for joining me back here. Long time no see, and this is why. A lot has changed since my last video. I hit the end of my pregnancy. I lost a lot of motivation to do anything. Being that pregnant, I don't know, it takes a toll on you. And since then, we've been adjusting as a family. We've been soaking up our time with our new baby. So today I want to introduce you to my new baby, and I want to tell you about my birth story, I guess. I did this with my son. I still like to go back and watch that video just to kind of see that moment in my life. So while this is a booktube channel, and I do typically talk about books here on this channel, I do like to do these kind of videos for myself to look back on later on. So this is my daughter, Ellie K. Say hi. She's waking up right now. She's big and chunky. We call her Ellie. Ellie came from just a random name list on Pinterest or something. And then K is after my mom. It's my mom's middle name. Oh goodness. And we thought we needed like a one-syllable middle name to go with Ellie. So K it is. You stretching? Oh goodness. Stretchy face. Ellie is now a month old at this point. She was born on the 2nd of December. My due date was the 1st of December, so she came a lot later than we all anticipated. Sam, my son, my first child, hi sweet pea, came almost 2 weeks early, right at a week and a half early. And they say your second baby usually comes faster than your first. So we were all expecting her to come like mid-November, have a Thanksgiving baby. No, she took her sweet old time and didn't come until the day after her due date. She did come on her own. I didn't have to be induced. She was born on a Friday. Yes. And I had an induced date, an induction date? No, she was born, sorry, I'm getting them confused. My son was born on a Friday. She was born on a Thursday, technically, but I went into labor on Wednesday. And I had an induction set for that Monday, that following Monday. So December 1st rolls around. I have a checkup at my doctor that morning. Ethan is my husband, went to that appointment. And we went over our options. And I was like, I want this baby out of me. So we talked about it and with my doctor, and he checked me, and I was anywhere from 2 to 3 centimeters already dilated that morning. And he was like, you know, we'll go ahead and schedule your induction. They didn't have anything for that night because I was ready to go. I was like, do you have anything for this evening? He said no, the earliest they have is Monday. So we went ahead and scheduled it for Monday. But I was already 2 to 3 centimeters dilated at that appointment that morning. So he told me, my doctor told me that he didn't really think it would last until Monday anyways, that she would be here before Monday came around, that he didn't think I would have to be induced just in general. So all of that happened. Ethan and I went to lunch that day. We went and picked up Sam from his sitter, brought him home. We hung out that afternoon, that evening, and Sam goes to sleep around 8 o'clock at night. Well, he goes into his room around 8 o'clock, and he usually falls asleep anywhere from 8:30 to 9. So we finished putting him to sleep, and Ethan and I were sitting on the couch and having our dessert. We like to eat whipped cream and chocolate chips together, just in a bowl. That's our dessert a lot of nights. Hi. Are you hungry? She is hungry. Give me a moment. So as I was saying, we're sitting on the couch that night. Keep in mind, with my son, I had contractions throughout the whole day. They started out very mild to the point where I didn't even know I was in labor. It really felt like bathroom cramps, when you have to go to the bathroom really bad. And then they progressively got worse throughout the day. With Ellie, Ethan and I were sitting on the couch, looking at memes, enjoying our dessert. And I feel this really intense pain. And I had a lot of Braxton Hicks this pregnancy, so I was like, that didn't feel like a Braxton Hicks, but I'm not entirely sure. I told Ethan, I said, I think I just had a contraction, but I'm not positive. And this was at like 9:30 that night. So we're sitting there, and like 3 minutes goes by, and I have another one. And I was like, yeah, Ethan, these are not Braxton Hicks contractions. I'm having contractions. And he's like, okay, well, do we need to take Sam to the sitter? Are you ready to go to the hospital? And I was like, no, like, let's wait a minute. Like, give me like an hour. I told him, I said, wait until about 10:30. And if they're still close together and they're still this painful, then we'll go to the hospital. Because I did not want to go to the hospital and then tell me it was false labor and then have to be sent home after taking Sam to his sitter and all that kind of stuff. Because it was late at night, you know, I didn't want to bother his sitter if it was false labor. So we're sitting around, and I keep having them very, very close together. If you've never had a baby, if you've never been in that realm or anything like that, they say 3 to 5 minutes you should go to the hospital if you're having contractions. Mine started out 3 to 5 minutes. Typically, like with my son, you'll have contractions and they'll be spread apart and then they'll maybe get a little closer together, but they need to be consistently 3 to 5 minutes apart for you to go to the hospital. But it usually, from what I've heard from other people's experiences, does not automatically, like from the start, happen that way. That's what happened to me. I didn't go through like quote unquote pre-labor, whatever it's called, early labor. I just hit the ground running in active labor, 3 to 5 minutes apart. Very painful. I get the chills, like the shakes when I'm in labor. I had it for both labors, both of my babies. So I'm walking around the house, like 20 minutes goes by and I start to get the shakes, the chills. So it's like close to 10 o'clock at this point. And I'm like, yeah, let's go ahead and take Sam to his sitter. I think I'm in labor. Keep in mind that morning at my appointment, there was no indication that I was in labor. I really think my doctor checking my cervix is what stimulated everything and got the ball rolling. A lot of women claim that has happened to them, and I agree with that. In my case, I really think that having somebody's hand touch your cervix, yeah, kind of stimulated everything and got it going. So yeah, like 10 o'clock, I was like, yeah, I think we need to go. So Ethan starts packing up the car. We get Sam in the car and take him to his sitter. And about 11:30, we get to the hospital. And I tell the lady that I'm in labor. And by this point, the contractions were not fun. They were not fun. They were hard to walk through, hard to talk through. And just overall, a struggle. And I was actually pretty worried that we wouldn't make it to the hospital. So we get there. I used combs, by the way. If you were getting ready to have a baby, planning on having a baby, want baby sometime in the future, I used combs. Look it up, how to use combs in labor. It's, you know, the kind that you brush your hair with. You put them in your palm and basically squeeze them while you're having a contraction. And it kind of gives your mind something else to focus on, like a different kind of pain. I had kind of little tiny bruises all over my palm from squeezing them so hard. The little pinpricks from the little like needles on the comb dug into my palm and gave me little bruises. But I personally thought it went a lot better this time than it did with my son, for multiple reasons that I'll get into. But the combs were one of them. So I used combs. So we get to the hospital around 11:30. I get sent up to triage and everything like that. And they check me, and I'm 7 to 8 centimeters dilated when I go up to triage. So I did not have any kind of medication. With Sam, I had Epidural mixed with something else to help me relax between contractions. This time, I had nothing. I had nothing at all. And I actually preferred it that way. With Sam, I was so out of it, I didn't remember a lot of what had happened. I was kind of just stuck in the bed and I don't know, just so tired and groggy. I didn't like it. This time, granted, this time was also a lot faster. This time I didn't have anything. I wouldn't have had time for an epidural even if I wanted one this time. But that's besides the point. I didn't want one, but even if I had, I wouldn't have had time. I don't know, I just preferred being unmedicated just in general. That being said, I'm not looking down on anybody at all that has medication, has any kind of pain meds to help them through the process. It is not easy. It's not easy. It's very painful, so I'm not looking down on anybody who has that. Personally, I hate needles. I can't stand the thought of a big long needle being shoved into my spine. It freaks me out more than the thought of laboring without the needle. So that's why I don't get an epidural. But if I was laboring for, 20 plus hours, I would not be opposed to. And, yeah, if I had long labors, give it to me. I've thankfully been blessed enough to have quote unquote shorter labors, this time especially, which I'll get into. So yeah, no medication. 11:30, I get checked in. My doctor shows up and he's like, well, looks like I won't be seeing you on Monday after all. I say, yeah, sorry to put you out of bed. So I even asked to not have an IV, if that tells you how much I hate needles. And they told me that it's hospital policy to have an IV, so I was like, fine, whatever. Goodness. You okay? We get to the actual delivery room, and I'm starting to have contractions. I'm in the bed at this point. I'm not allowed to stand up anymore, which kind of aggravated me a little bit, because I felt like I was doing good. I would stand up and hold my combs, and Ethan would kind of support me and hold my arms, and I would kind of just lay on him and kind of sway a little bit while I was having contractions and holding my combs. And I wasn't allowed to do that once I got to the hospital room, but it was fine because about an hour later she came anyways. So yeah, it all went very smoothly. I started feeling the urge to push, and my cervix was like lipped somehow. It wasn't completely open when I started pushing, but my doctor said it was fine to go ahead and start pushing, that the pushing process would open it up the rest of the way. So I felt the urge to push, and I started pushing, and it kind of opened up my cervix a little bit, and then I kind of stopped feeling the urge to push as frequently. So it kind of slowed down just a little bit there for like, I really don't know how long. I would say like 10 to 15 minutes. And then it started happening again. And I think I pushed for like 20 or 30 minutes, like all together, like the practice pushes that the nurse does with you and everything. She came out, like actually came out of the pelvis, the cavity, whatever it's called, in one round of pushing. So I don't know how every hospital does it. I don't know if it's different if you have a midwife or anything like that. My hospital, you push for 10 seconds, and in that 10 seconds, I usually get about 3 pushes in. So you push, 10 seconds, you get a break, you push, you get a break, and you push, and you get a break. So like, I'm not explaining this right. Yeah, you do 3 pushes, and then you get like a break, because by then your contraction is usually over. Yeah, I did explain that right. So you push through the contractions, which is what helps the baby come through the cavity. And she came out in one round of pushes, so like 3 pushes she came out. And there was a point in time where I was pushing and the contractions just kept coming right after the other. So I would do those 3 little pushes, and then I would get a break for maybe like, it felt like no time at all, like 20 seconds maybe. And then another one would come and I'd have to go back to pushing. And I remember looking up at Ethan, and he was standing beside me, and I was just kind of looking at him and like shaking my head like, this is awful, I can't do this. And I remember him looking at me and telling me like, you're almost done, you can do this. I was like, I am almost done, like this is what I've been praying for. Because throughout my whole pregnancy, and especially there towards the end, I really prayed for a healthy pregnancy, a healthy delivery, and a fast delivery. And boy, did I get it. God sure gave it to me, to the point where it was a little scary how fast it happened. Like I said earlier, I really felt like I wasn't going to make it to the hospital in time. But overall, I'm very thankful. So throughout the whole process, I was just giving thanks to God and praising Him that it was so quick, and it was as quick as it was. But there was one instance in that gap of pushing where I was so overwhelmed and I prayed. I was like, Lord, please, like, just give me a good break. Like, I know I can push this baby out. This is what my body is made to do. I just need a break, like, for longer than 20 seconds. And I got it. I remember specifically thinking, like, this is what I asked for. Lord, thank you. In the middle of labor. Yeah, I had a round of pushing, and I got like 20 seconds in between. And so I did another round, and I was laying there, and I was like, oh, I just need a break. And it was like a good minute and a half before my next contraction came. And I was like, this is what I needed. I think I'm good to go. Lord, thank you for answering my prayer. And then, like 2 rounds of pushing later, she came. Yeah, she was very, very quick this time. I don't think she got caught the way Sam did. She just came out. With Sam, I pushed and his head came out. It was just hanging out of me, and I had to just endure that pain. They call it the ring of fire. Boy, is that accurate. Yeah, his head was hanging out of me, and I had to wait until my next contractions to push the rest of him out. With her, no, she just came on out. I think it took 2 pushes for her to come out, because I remember feeling like there's such a sense of relief when the baby finally comes out and everything. This is kind of gross. I might put a preface at the beginning of this video, but when you push the baby out, not only does she come out or he come out, but all of the fluid and stuff comes out too. So there's just such a sense of relief from that pressure that has built up. And so I felt that when she came out, and I heard my nurse say, okay, you're almost done, you're almost done. And I remember thinking in my head, like, almost done? Like, am I not done? Like, I just felt everything come out. So I had to do one more push to get her the rest of the way out. But it did not, it was not nearly as traumatic as Sam's was. And I say traumatic loosely because I don't want to make it seem like I had a bad labor with Sam, because I did not. My labor was textbook, quote unquote, perfect with both of my babies. No complications, like no straining, no, I don't know how to put it. It was just perfect. It was how it was supposed to go. But with Sam, I started laboring around 9 that morning, 9:30 that morning, and he was born at like 12:56. I want to say 12:56, 12:58, something. That night, you know, the next morning, you know, late night, early morning, however you want to put it. So, you know, like 15, 16 hours of labor with him. With her, instead of 9:30 that morning, I started laboring at 9:30 that night, and she was born around the same time. Whew. We're redoing our bookshelves, and my books just toppled over. Anyways. So yeah, she was born 12:40 something, 12:47, something like that. So like 12 hours less than Sam. So it's not that Sam's labor was traumatic in the sense that anything bad happened. It just was so much longer than this one, that after I had him, I would just sit and think about it, and just think about the pain, and think about how I didn't want to do that again. This one, like I say, I prayed for a fast delivery, and God gave it to me. 3.5, 4 hours for my whole labor, for everything. Like from the minute I started having contractions until she got here. Blows my mind how quickly it happened. We keep saying for the next one, we're just going to have to hire like an at-home nanny to be with the kids. We're not going to have time to take the kids to a sitter before I go to the hospital. Might even buy a blow-up pool to put in our house, because I don't know if I'll have time to go to the hospital. If the next one, because we do want more, if the next one comes faster than she came. It was mind-blowing to me how quick the whole process was. And I think my coffee pot, because I need some coffee right now. I think the fact that it was so fast has made the whole experience so much better and less traumatic for me. That and the fact that I did not tear with her. With Sam, I tore twice. I tore up towards the back, up towards her butt. Again, TMI for women, or for just people in general maybe who don't want to hear about gross women troubles. Yeah, I tore towards the back, towards my butt, and then I tore on the side, like in towards my thigh. So my recovery time was a lot rougher with Sam. This time I did not tear at all, and buddy, the difference that made. Being able to just scoot across the bed without having to worry about like scooting your stitches, or even just peeing and not feeling that stinging sensation that stitches can give you, going to the bathroom and stuff like that. The whole process has been so much easier this time around. I thank God again that it was so much easier having to deal with a toddler and a newborn. When it's your first baby and you just have that one to take care of, it does feel overwhelming. As a new mom with two, I'm so thankful to have had such an easy process with the whole thing. To not have to worry about a newborn and a toddler at the same time. It's been great. So yeah, that's my birth story. It all happened very fast. I'm so thankful that it did. And now we have our sweet Ellie. Hi, sweet pea. Like I said, she's a month old now, a little over a month. She was 714, gosh, 17 pounds, whoa. 714, which I guessed. She popped out and they put her on the scale, or they were getting ready to put her on the little scale that they have. And I don't know how other hospitals are, but my hospital, they go around and they ask, like, Dad, what do you think she weighs? Mom, what do you think she weighs? You know, all that kind of stuff. And I was like, I think she weighs 714, and she weighed 714. How cool was that I guessed her weight right? Just overall, just such a lovely experience this time around. Painful, of course, but I'm so thankful. If you can't see that or just hear that in the way that I'm talking about this, I'm so thankful for the way that everything has turned out. Sam is such a good big brother. It goes so much better than we thought it would. We thought he would be kind of jealous because he is a mommy's boy, but he loves to love on her. He'll get up beside her and give her kisses or give her hugs or just hold her hand or just like pet her hair. When I feed her, I don't cover myself in my own home. Sam breastfed, he knows what my boobs looks like. So he'll come over and I hold it sometimes with my hand to keep it in her mouth, and he'll come over and just lay his hand there like he's helping to feed her and stuff like that. He's such a good big brother, and so much better than we thought it would be.
You doing it? Where's her nose? Yeah, there's her nose. Can she have a kiss? You're so sweet. Job, buddy. Does she have a hug? Oh, you're so sweet.
Yeah, okay, be easy.
Okay, be easy.
Is that her hand? Be nice to it. Just overall, it's just been such a smooth process. We're adjusting as a family. I think we have a routine now. Ethan's gone back to work. Hi, Mama. We call her Mama because she looks like my Mama. She looks like a little old lady. Hi, sweetie. Look how grin at me. Yeah, you grinning. She started smiling at us recently. I don't know that I have anything else to add other than so thankful for 2 healthy, happy babies. For such a great labor this time. I can't get over it. God is good. So good. Anyways, so yeah, here's my birth story. Here's my baby. This is why I have not been here recently. Can you say hi? Oh, you mad? Does that sound bright? Does that sound bright? Oh, she's so chunky. She has my cheeks. I have very fat cheeks, and so does she. Sam is a spitting image of his daddy. Looks so much like Ethan. Ellie is seeming to take from my side of the family. Like I say, she looks like my mama is what she looks like. But I'll take it. Oh, goodness. I hope to be back soon. You know, like I say, I didn't do anything. the last couple months. I did make my goal. I read 60 books last year, and I'll make a video about it. With that being said, I hope to come back. I hope to start making videos. Maybe not twice a week, maybe not every week, but I hope to come back. Now that everything is getting settled, now that we're getting into a routine, all that good stuff. So, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to subscribe down below and leave a comment, even though this isn't my usual type of video. You guys are awesome. I am so thankful for you. And we'll be back here next time, guys. See ya! Can you see ya? You're falling back asleep. You don't want to eat on the other side? Are you hungry still? Okay, anyways.